Part 1, The Invitation and Arrival. In the rolling hills of Devonshire, where the mist clung to the ancient oaks like a shroud, stood Ashford Manor. The year was 1928, a time when the echoes of the Great War still lingered in the memories of many, and the Jazz Age was beginning to infiltrate even the most secluded corners of England. Ashford Manor, with its Georgian architecture, tall chimneys, and ivy-covered walls, seemed a relic from a bygone era. It was the home of Sir Reginald Hargrove, a man whose fortune was built on colonial investments and whose passions ran to the esoteric and the exotic. Sir Reginald, at 65, was a robust figure with a booming voice and a penchant for storytelling. His collection of artifacts from distant lands filled the manor's rooms, Egyptian scarabs that gleamed under glass, Aztec masks with hollow eyes, and talismans whispered to carry ancient curses. The villagers below spoke of him with a mix of awe and suspicion, claiming some of his treasures were plundered rather than purchased. But Sir Reginald dismissed such talk as peasant superstition. It was in early autumn that he sent out invitations for a weekend gathering. The missives, written in his elegant hand on heavy cream paper, promised a weekend of revelations, fine cuisine, and perhaps a touch of the mysterious. The guests were carefully chosen, each with ties to his life that ran deeper than mere acquaintance. Lady Evelyn Hargrove arrived first, stepping from the train at the small station in Ashford village. At 32, she was strikingly beautiful, with raven black hair pinned in a fashionable chignon and green eyes that could pierce like daggers. Her marriage to Sir Reginald 5 years prior had raised eyebrows. She, a society beauty from a faded aristocratic family, he, an older widower with wealth but no title. Whispers suggested it was a union of convenience, her youth for his fortune. She carried herself with poise, but those who knew her well detected a restlessness, a hunger for more than the quiet life at the manor. Accompanying her was her brother, Victor Langton, 28 and handsome in a roguish way, with tousled blonde hair and a perpetual smile that charmed women and creditors alike. Victor had a taste for the high life, gambling in Monte Carlo, racing cars on the Riviera, but his luck was as fickle as the weather. He relied on Evelyn's influence with Sir Reginald to settle his debts, and this weekend, he hoped, would secure another bailout. The motor car sent from the manor, driven by the impassive butler Jenkins, collected them. Jenkins, a man in his 50s with a face like carved stone, had served the Hargrove family for 30 years. His loyalty was unquestioned, but his eyes held secrets, shadows of a past unspoken. As they drove up the winding lane, Evelyn gazed at the manor rising against the grey sky. "Do you think Reginald suspects anything?" Victor asked quietly. She shot him a warning glance. "Not a word. This weekend is about his revelations, whatever that means." Next to arrive was Dr. Amelia Thorne, a 45-year-old archaeologist of repute. She cycled from the village inn, her tweed suit practical for the journey, her spectacles slipping down her nose as she pedaled. Dr. Thorne had met Sir Reginald on an expedition to Egypt years ago, where they unearthed treasures together. But their partnership had fractured over disputes. She accused him of claiming artifacts that were rightfully hers. In her satchel was a notebook filled with evidence, and she intended to confront him. Major Harold Blackwood came by horseback, his military uniform faded but impeccably pressed. 52, with a bushy mustache and a limp from a Boer War injury, he exuded the air of a man who had seen too much battle. The Major had invested heavily in Sir Reginald's African mining ventures, only to suffer losses that threatened his retirement. He carried a silver-headed cane, which he thumped for emphasis, and his conversations often turned to grievances. Last was Miss Clara Beaumont, 24, an aspiring novelist with bobbed hair and a modern flair. She arrived by taxi, her eyes wide with excitement. Introduced to Sir Reginald through a London literary circle, she saw the weekend as inspiration for her next book, a mystery, perhaps, set in a grand house like this. Her typewriter was packed carefully, and she observed everything with a writer's keen eye. Jenkins greeted each at the door, his voice monotone. "Welcome to Ashford Manor. Sir Reginald awaits in the drawing room." The room was opulent, with velvet drapes and a roaring fire. Sir Reginald rose to greet them, his face flushed with anticipation. "My dear guests, come, warm yourselves. Jenkins, sherry all around." Conversation flowed tentatively, at first the weather, the journey, but soon delved into shared histories. Sir Reginald regaled them with tales of his latest acquisition, a Mayan idol from the Yucatan, said to be cursed. "It's magnificent," he said, gesturing to where it would be displayed later. "The priests used it in rituals to summon death upon thieves." Dr. Thorne snorted. "Curses are folklore, Reginald. But that idol, is it authenticated or another of your finds?" He laughed. "Always the skeptic, Amelia. You'll see it tonight." The Major thumped his cane. "Enough mysticism. Tell us about the mine, Reginald." "My investment." "All in due time," Sir Reginald interrupted. "Tomorrow, revelations." Lady Evelyn smiled politely, Victor flirted lightly with Miss Beaumont, who blushed but noted it all. Part 2, The Dinner and Rising Tensions. As twilight fell, the guests dressed for dinner. The dining room was a splendor of candlelight and crystal, the long oak table set with silver. Jenkins served with silent efficiency, his gloved hands steady. The meal began with consommé, delicate and clear. Sir Reginald dominated the talk, describing his travels. "In Cairo, I acquired a scarab that once belonged to a pharaoh. It brings luck, they say." Dr. Thorne's eyes narrowed. "That scarab was from our dig, Reginald. You promised to share it?" He waved dismissively. "Details, my dear. It's safe here." Victor steered the conversation to lighter topics, recounting a casino win. "Lady Luck smiled on me until she didn't." Lady Evelyn shot him a look. "Victor, perhaps not at dinner." Miss Beaumont listened avidly, her mind spinning plots. The Major grumbled about post-war economics, his voice rising as he pressed Sir Reginald on investments. "You've lost me thousands," he accused. Sir Reginald's smile tightened. "Patience, Harold. Tomorrow changes everything." The main course, roast pheasant with trimmings, arrived, but appetites waned amid the undercurrents. Lady Evelyn excused herself briefly, returning composed but pale. Dr. Thorne argued quietly with Sir Reginald about ethics in archaeology. As pudding was served, a rich chocolate souffle, the Mayan idol was brought in on a pedestal. It was grotesque, carved from jade, with eyes that seemed to follow one. "Behold," Sir Reginald said. "Tomorrow, I'll reveal its secret." The group stared, uneasy. Miss Beaumont shivered. "It looks alive." Coffee followed in the drawing room. Sir Reginald hinted at a new will, a redistribution of wealth. Eyes flickered, motives stirred. By midnight, they retired. The manor creaked in the wind. Sir Reginald went to his study, the idol on his desk. He opened a hidden compartment in it, checking a document inside his last will, naming an unexpected heir. Lady Evelyn visited him, pleading for Victor. "He's in trouble again." Sir Reginald sighed. "Always the same." "I'll consider it." She left angrily. Victor lurked in the hall, overhearing. Dr. Thorne sneaked down, searching the study while Sir Reginald dozed briefly, but found nothing. The Major paced his room, fuming. Miss Beaumont wrote by candlelight, the air is thick with secrets. Jenkins, in his quarters, plotted. He was James Hargrove, Sir Reginald's half-brother, born out of wedlock, denied his share. The will in the idol named him heir. He had forged it years ago, but Sir Reginald had discovered it and planned to burn it. Part 3, The Murder and Discovery. The clock struck 2. Jenkins entered the study via a secret servant's passage. He had poisoned the brandy earlier, but Sir Reginald hadn't drunk it. Now, he grabbed a dagger from the wall, an oriental antique, and plunged it into his brother's back. Sir Reginald gasped, clutching the desk. The idol toppled, shattering, the compartment opening. Jenkins snatched the wool, fleeing as blood pooled. Morning broke grey. Lady Evelyn, rising early, went to the study to reconcile. Her scream pierced the air. The guests rushed in. Sir Reginald slumped, dagger protruding, idol in pieces. Dr. Thorne checked. Dead. Hours ago. Major, murder. The windows open, intruder. But no footprints outside. Victor, who could have? Miss Beaumont, like a novel. Jenkins, I'll call the police. The group gathered in the drawing room, suspicions flying. Lady Evelyn inherited most, but Victor needed money. Dr. Thorne had feuds, major losses, Clara, unknown. Police arrived, Inspector Hargreaves, burly and methodical, with Sergeant Mills. Then, Monsieur Henry Duval, a Belgian detective vacationing nearby, offered help. Small, mustached, sharp-eyed. I have the little grey cells. He interviewed, Lady Evelyn, argued, but left him alive. Victor, nightcap with cis, then bed. Dr. Thorne, blackmail over forgeries but no murder. Major, angry, but honorable. Clara, writing. Jenkins, below stairs. Duval examined, no prints on dagger. Empty compartment. Torn silk on Sil Evelyn's shawl. Part 4, The investigation deepens. Lunch was tense, soup uneaten. Duval found letters, Sir Reginald threatening Dr. Thorne, demanding Major's silence on failed deals. Major's cane hid a blade clean. Clara's notes detailed motives research. Storm raged, confining them. Duval discovered Jenkins' true identity via old letters in attic. Gathering, the killer is among us. Revelations, poison in brandy, undrunk. Stabbed instead. Jenkins accused, revenge, inheritance. Struggle, arrest. Peace restored. Part 5, Epilogue. The manor emptied. Evelyn reflected on freedom. Victor vowed change. Dr. Thorne took artifacts. Major salvaged investments. Clara wrote her book. Duval departed, another puzzle solved.